I make no attempt to hide it. I'm a big fan of Yorkshire. In fact, Whitby on the North Yorkshire coast is one of my most favourite places on earth, and it appears that the world of cycling seems to like Yorkshire as well. In 2014, nothing short of the world's biggest cycle race, Le Tour de France, chose it for its Grand Depart and the following stage, and literally millions of people lined the streets to watch it. In recent years, it's gained its own international stage race, the Tour de Yorkshire, which regularly attracts many of the top European pros. And in September 2019, it will be the host for the UCI World Championships, and will see the world's top cyclists battling it out for those famous rainbow jerseys. The final stage in this festival of cycling will be the men's elite road race. Starting in Leeds and passing through Skipton and the Yorkshire Dales National Park, it will cover a gruelling 285 kilometres before finishing in the spa town of Harrogate. Now there's no doubt about it, that will be a very tough course indeed. Some of the climbs in the Yorkshire Dales National Park are absolutely brutal. One such climb is the Buttertubs Pass, just outside the village of Hawes. It gets its odd name from back in the day when local farmers used the deep limestone formations as cold stores for the butter they produced. And when I say it's tough, believe me, it really is. And that's not just me in my capacity as a sack of custard talking. Even fit, lithe, skinny riders struggle up there. Looking at the climb on Strava, it doesn't appear to be anything special. 2 kilometres with an average gradient at 7%, but this is very deceptive. I rode it myself back in 2014 when I was at my fittest and lightest for many years, and all I can say is that it was incredibly hard. What you don't see on Strava are the 2 road signs indicating sections at 17%, and once you've negotiated those, the road levels out to a gentle 9%. Epic climbs here in the UK aren't generally like those in Europe or the US, which go on for kilometre after kilometre at a gentle gradient. For a start, they aren't generally that long. The longest one we have is Crag Vale Hill near Mertholmroyd in West Yorkshire, and that's only just under 9 kilometres with an average gradient of 3%. Piece of cake. Although, seeing as it's Yorkshire, maybe that would probably be a barm cake, or a bread cake, or possibly even a bap. What our climbs lack in distance, they more than make up for in gradient. To put things into perspective, arguably the steepest road in the world is in Wales, near the village of Ffordd, with one section at, wait for it, 40%. The climbs in Yorkshire are hot on its heels though, with some of them topping out at around 33%. Many of the UK's toughest climbs can be found on the North York moors above Whitby. Within riding distance of the town you have several really tough ones, including Blue Bank, Saltergate Bank, Lythe Bank and the infamous Chimney Bank. Again, looking at them on Strava, they don't appear anything special. For instance, Lythe Bank at 1.4 kilometres with an average gradient of 9% seems kind of doable, but only when you're faced with the reality, which is basically a wall of road looming up in front of you, you start thinking that maybe it's tougher than you first thought. I'll put my hand up and say that I've only ever ridden down this climb, and even that was nothing short of terrifying, particularly the corner with the 25% gradient. But Lythe Bank is a pussycat compared to the infamous Chimney Bank near the village of Rosedale Abbey. This climb is nothing short of an absolute chain breaker. Even the Strava profile is starting to look a bit scary now. 1.3 kilometres with an average gradient of 13%. If you do make it past the 33% sections and get to the top, take a few moments to look behind you. There's a sign advising cyclists to dismount because the descent is so dangerous. Again, I will have to admit that I've never ridden either way, up or down this climb. However, I have driven down it, and that was literally like falling down a hole. Being pretty, let's just say, gravitationally challenged, I'm amazed that these climbs are on Strava at all. I can climb, albeit slowly. I've ridden up proper mountains in Mallorca, and I can even do 20%ers if they're short enough. But these Yorkshire climbs are way beyond my ability, but that hasn't stopped some people successfully riding up them. I'm absolutely amazed that anyone at all can do it. I've been visiting Whitby every year for the last 30 or so, but it's only recently that I've started taking my bike with me. And that has mainly been down to the fact that every road out of town will eventually come face to face with one of these monster climbs. My usual ride takes me south towards Scarborough, and even this is pretty tough, at 10 kilometres gently ascending to the edge of the North York Moors, reaching just outside the village of Robin Hood's Bay. I resist the temptation to take the 25% descent into the village. I'd never get out again if I did, but instead turn back on myself and ride what is now a steady 10 kilometre downhill back into Whitby. It's actually one of my most favourite rides ever. There is no doubt that cycling is a tough sport. So it's logical that the people that do it also have to be a special kind of tough. But in my humble opinion, the climbs in Yorkshire take this to a whole new level. Every year there is the Étape de Tour de Yorkshire, which gives us amateur riders the opportunity to ride a stage of the pro race. If you think you are tough, I suggest you go to Yorkshire and find out once and for all. Thanks for watching.